Kick in the Ass, episode 94.
All big changes start with a swift kick in the ass. Join the journey of lifelong friends, John Curren and Tom Stewart, as they make conventional thought bend over and take a boot to the keister. Warning, listeners may notice a force equal to or greater than needed to get your ass moving. A swift kick in the ass, living life on your terms.
Welcome, I'm Tom Stewart, and I'm joined with my lifelong childhood friend John Curren and my wife, Jennifer Stewart.
Hey.
Hey, everybody. I know it's been a long time, but here we are. Wanted to give you an update on Tom's condition, and I'm just going to hand it over to Tom.
All right, so I haven't talked to you guys since I started therapy. Therapy. As you can tell, my voice is still different, slower or whatever. But I've undergone 6 weeks of radiation, plus chemo. The chemo continued on after that for about a month, and I had a lot of different treatments. I was treatment on my head called the Optune, and wearing it right now I look like a brainiac. I have a cap on, and it sends, every time tumors try to divide, it's supposed to send a signal to my tumor and interrupt it. So that's one treatment. I'm also doing an alternative treatment, infrared sauna. That's more for detoxing. I'm also doing the Curren diet, which is what I'm really turning to. It's giving me hope. It's eating all vegetables basically, and potatoes, and that has made me stronger, and I think will keep me in the fight longer. So I'm doing that. What else am I doing, Jen?
The Rick Simpson oil.
Rick Simpson oil.
The medical marijuana.
Yeah, medical marijuana. And I've got all different places. I've been all over the place with that because it's been, some are strong, some are not.
We're fortunate to live in Florida where it's legal, and the dispensary here has a pretty high potency Rick Simpson oil that's available.
Yeah, that's good. So I know, as you said, Tom, you've been doing a lot of different treatments. And the last word that you got was pretty good, right?
Well, they monitor me every 3 months, and the last one was stable. That's, so they decided to keep me on the chemo. But if that does not work, which, I kind of hope it doesn't, because I get to try immunotherapy, which builds up your immune system to fight the cancer rather than tearing it down, rather than poison in your body.
Yeah, they've had a lot of really good outcomes, I think, with immunotherapy, and I heard about that here in Richmond.
It was actually you who forwarded it to me, and I forwarded it to my doctor and said, I gotta try this. And she knows the doctor is doing trials for brain. Yeah. So I'm just waiting for that.
Well, I'm glad something's working for you. I think for some of our audience members, who have been with us for 5 years now, and we're actually over 100,000 downloads. You've come to know us, and Tom's not a quitter. He's a fighter. He's a warrior, and this is, this episode is all about that, about being a warrior. And
I don't see it anymore as a fight. I'm trying to embrace it and come to peace with it. So I don't say beating, fighting, because my mind, I have to survive it.
Okay.
Which I am.
So sorry, Tommy. That's kind of news to me, and I think it's interesting. So you just said that you've changed. You don't call it. You don't think of it as a fight.
No.
So, but that doesn't mean you've given up, because I know that you haven't.
No.
You said you're embracing it, and it's become a part of who you are. So, like, I guess.
Yeah. I mean.
So, like an origin story, kind of.
Yes, I told you, this is not my story that allows me to die or whatever. This is my origin story. When I'm done, and I'm going to do it now, is, help people as much as I can.
Yeah.
Even while I'm sick, that way when I'm well, I just progress and, right now I'm in a wheelchair. And my left arm doesn't work. I'm blind in my left eye. But I'm still here. I'm still gonna do what I can. And I went to the doctor and she told me it was a fight I cannot win. When she told me that,
yeah, I know this has got to be tough, Tom. Give Tom a minute. This is also part of the condition.
Yeah, I have no control over my emotions.
But
from happy to sad, and I don't mean that like it's like real, I can't control it. But she told me that, and then I lost hope.
It's okay, man. You know what? Although you say it's part of the condition, what you're going through is not easy. And it's probably the most difficult thing you'll ever face in your life. And it's understandable to me that you would have a lot of emotions tied up, with this. So to me, that seems natural to be emotional about this. This is something that has hit you hard, and you're still standing.
And I've seen an evolution in him too, though, because it's gone from, the initial shock of the diagnosis to the treatment to the fear to the fight to the hopelessness, but to where he is today, where he wants, one day he just decided, I'm going to embrace this. This is who I am. This is our life right now. And, I'm not done yet. I still have work to do.
I want to help other people that are going through it.
Yeah.
I joined the Gilda's Club, which is Gilda Radner has a support group. I've been going to that. I've been injecting, talking as much as I can to others. And if one of my pieces of advice works, it'll be worth it, because these people are like, just like ravaged with the. I go in there, there's people with shaved heads, bald heads like me, but there's women like that, and I can't imagine how they do it with little kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not only affecting you, but it affects your family. It affects people who love you and care about you. You know, that's so what life is all about, isn't it? It's not all just about us. I mean, as individuals,
And I've had some.
we're all impacted.
I've had some complications, not bad ones. The worst being constipation. I've gone to the hospital for that twice.
But we tackled it the last time around.
Yeah.
We got ahead of it the last infusion.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So
We're always learning from this.
now I
Always
think
learning.
I'm better with the with how much I poop. It's.
He always has to bring it
really,
there.
I called Jennifer and I'm like, I pooped. I'm sorry, baby, I brought it up to that.
You know, it's funny, you know, on a swift kick in the ass, you know, we're always trying to, just be real and gritty and dirty. And now we're getting poopy.
Yeah, I won't go all into it, but basically this nurse had to stick her finger.
That night made me realize ER doctors earn their money, that's for sure.
Yeah, she was a doctor. She was a big doctor. The
Yeah.
big hand, a big fingernail, and she scraped it out of me. After that,
man.
I was good.
Good to go. But we
Man, it hurt. I was already sore from being constipated and pushing so much. So, I don't know if that made it hurt worse. But Jennifer was older than me. It was like I was getting gang raped. It was
bad.
horrible.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Tom, being your friend and seeing you, go through all of this, that you've gone from challenge to challenge to challenge. I mean, the radiation therapy that you went through, where they, put you in a full head mask.
Yeah, and strapped.
That even covered your eyes.
Yep, strapped me to the table
and strapped you into a table, and you had to stay. Your head was fixed.
I did that for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I went every day down 50 miles away from here. Every day I drove down there.
Yeah, there are so many things I think in life that we don't want to do. I mean, no one wants to go to the doctor and have a finger stuck up their ass.
Right.
No one wants to have their whole body strapped down.
Every week I have to take blood. And
his poor veins.
my left arm had a huge vein from lifting weights, but my left arm has atrophied so much.
It's okay.
Yeah, and none of us ask for any of this. But how we face it and face these challenges is what really helps define us. And I think that kind of plays into your origin story, Tom, that, this, how you face these things helps define who you are. And we're constantly changing, we're constantly learning. And whether you have a medical condition, or whether you've lost your job, or your girlfriend or boyfriend broke up with you, or your dog died, or the world is
which has happened. I basically am retired medically now. I liked my job.
Yeah, it's well, Tom, I know this is difficult, and I know that the intent here with having this episode, even though it is going to be hard for some of our listeners to hear, I think it's also very valuable, because that's what life is all about, is adapting to whatever's thrown at you and doing the best that you can, no matter what. That's what started this entire show, was, that really when my father died, that was a big swift kick in the ass for me. And the intent of this show has always been to help people, to help our listeners understand that it's these swift kicks in the ass that are sometimes, really what makes us into who we are and what we are going to become, based on what life throws at us. So,
well, my hope is that this diet that I'm on, which is that makes me feel a lot better, and what it does is it kind of like, it teaches your body to heal itself. So I'm teaching my immune system to fight the cancer. And the cancer, sometimes it's hard to find. It masks itself, and it's hard I think that's my problem, is all the stuff I'm throwing at it, can't find it. And I go back to this Curren therapy. They take juices are the heart, the core, and you drink a juice, one every hour, and then for every juice, or 2 juices or 3 juices, you're supposed to do a coffee enema, which detoxifies your liver. I've yet to do those yet. I've been waiting, I don't know what I'm waiting for, but maybe I just don't want any more enemas. As I told you, huh?
I hope Starbucks doesn't offer a new product line.
Evidently they used these back in the 30s. My mom had one, she had diphtheria. They gave her one. I've taken other enemas, but not that one.
Yeah, I'm starting to sense a theme here, Tom. It's all.
It is Tom.
Yeah, Tommy.
Tom.
Okay,
Sorry.
Tommy.
That's right.
Well, you've always been Tommy to me. Tom or Tommy.
Most people don't know I've changed my name to Tommy, not Tom anymore. I should have said it in the beginning, but it takes some getting used to.
Yeah, it's that's funny, because here, I'm either John or I'm Johnny, and you're Tom or Tommy.
Right.
And that's what we've known all of our lives. To me, it's interchangeable.
Your mom calls you Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, all my good friends who have known me a long time tell me, call me Johnny. But to me, John or Johnny it's the same name.
Yeah.
It's just when you add a Y at the end, it's the affectionate version of the word. It's a way to show endearment. But
forgive me for sniffling so much. I've had a cold. John was nice enough to send me some elderberry.
Yeah.
And I've been pouring that in orange juice, drinking that.
Okay.
Because you're very susceptible when you're going to chemo. I've actually, every time I do blood work, my doctor's like, it's better than mine.
Yeah. That's a good thing, because that's why he's been able to stay on chemo for so long, and that his doctor's willing to throw anything she can at him to treat this because he can handle it. So, I mean, we have to count that blessing that,
Yeah.
you know, so far he's been able to take everything.
I've
And
never
every week I
been-
get an email from the doctor, blood work great, blood work looks great. So, you know,
So-
that's
You were diagnosed with the tumors just
April.
over a year ago. now.
April
Yeah.
10th. Yeah.
April what?
9th, April 9th, actually. Yeah.
Okay, and before that,
They thought it was MS.
yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of how long you've actually been dealing with this. It's been, I mean, you got the diagnosis
At least
a year ago, but
It's over a year.
but you were beginning to feel the effects of this
Yeah.
prior to that, and I'm trying to think.
Because it's
Was
your
it?
brain, I felt it all the way back to December when I called you. I
Yeah.
thought maybe I had ALS, which you died.
So
Yeah.
it's about 14 months.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I was just thinking, because before all this, Tom really was Superman. I mean,
Yeah.
he was, running 10 flights of stairs just about every day, right?
Yeah,
You go to the
every day-
beach
every day.
and doing jujitsu and, and that, on this show, if you've been listening for any length of time, we're always looking for ways to improve ourselves, improve our lives, and the lives of our families. And you were certainly on that path. I mean, you took care of yourself.
I still do occupational and physical therapy. I train my legs about twice a week. I'm doing squats and stuff like that.
He rides the recumbent bike.
Yeah.
And then I go to the other one, and she basically just stretches out my fingers and on my left hand that I can't move, and exercises my shoulder. Moves it up and down so I keep range of motion.
Yeah. Well, I had a point in bringing all that up in the timeline, Tom, is that, here you were really the picture of health before this all happened. And now, year and a half later, I mean, it's taking your toll. I mean, it's taking a toll on you. And it's
Yeah.
just a reminder to all of our listeners that, life is not perfect. And you can never tell what's going to be thrown at you. So, that it's okay, if we don't have to be perfect, because life is not going to be perfect.
Yeah, it's not perfect at all.
So don't get caught up and hung up on, I didn't go, to the gym this day, or I didn't make it, 7 days a week this week, or whatever your goals are.
Right.
It's important to live your life and enjoy your life. And that's the one thing I've always admired about you and your family, Tom, is that you're a very tight unit, even before all this happened, and you're tighter now because of it.
Well,
But-
I have to thank my wife, who's been my
Stop. It's okay.
caretaker.
Now, it's
She gets mad at me and frustrated. But I understand she doesn't have a minute of time.
yeah, you got lucky, Tom, when you and Jen got married. I mean, I remember
We
that.
both
I remember
did.
that day, and you've always been a super couple. And that's it's easy to be on good terms when things are good, but things like this are a real test of a relationship. And Jen has been there for you throughout, and will be. I mean, that's what your relationship is all about.
She has
I
to shower.
appreciate her as well.
She showers me like every other night. She showers me. She bathes me.
You would do it too, though, if the tables were turned. It would.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's really what it's all about. And
Yeah.
it keeps going back to, we all each have our individual problems and challenges that we have to face. But it's really when you group together and team up with others that you love and care about that make you stronger and make this life more bearable and more worthwhile. And I'm sure your kids see that day in and day out.
And they've been very helpful too.
Awesome.
Yeah, and and by living by example that way, I mean, you are making a difference in this world and making the world a better place.
It's funny, I've been eating good. I see it inspiring Hunter to start eating good. He's lost like 20 pounds.
Yeah.
But he really
Totally changed his lifestyle.
Yeah, and it's important, thinking back about, when we were kids, Tom, my dad introduced us both to weightlifting, when we were just teenagers, and not just you and me, but all of our buddies too around the neighborhood. And it was amazing to me after my dad died, how many people came up to me and said how much they were thankful for my dad and how my dad taught them how to be, a man.
Yeah.
And,
that's where our name is Swift Kick in the Ass comes from.
Yeah.
It's your father. Because he had to give, I don't know if it's true, but he jumped onto a Japanese U-boat or something and kicked the guy in the ass. Is that true?
That's so funny that you bring that up. So the story is, and this is a story my dad told me when I was a little boy, a bedtime story about when he was in the war. He was in the Korean War, and he was in the Air Force, but for some reason he was on a naval ship, and in the middle of the night, the naval ship was passed right by a Japanese warship. So my dad saw the opportunity to jump across and jump onto the naval ship, run up and attack the admiral and kill the admiral.
Oh my gosh.
and take his gun and then ran back on and jumped back on the naval ship.
I just remember him saying he kicked him in the ass.
Yeah, and I think he kicked him in the ass. But my dad told a good story. There was a real story when my parents had their printing business that this man ordered all this material, business cards, letterheads, envelopes, just the whole works. He was starting a business or something like that. Ordered it, and then he never came back in to pick it up. And my parents had their own business, and they put out a lot of money to create all these things for this man, and he didn't come in. So my mom called him up, and he says, I don't want it anymore. And long story short, my mom convinced him to come in because my dad said, do whatever you have to get him to come in, and I'll talk some sense into him. And the guy came in, and he couldn't talk any sense to him. So as the man was walking back out to his car, and he bent over to put the key in the door, because that was before remote control.
Yeah.
The guy was bent over, and my dad saw his shot. He kicked him right in the ass, and he says, "I knew I wasn't going to get any money out of it. I wanted to get some satisfaction." It's funny, and it's lucky. Nowadays the cops would have been called, and my dad probably would have been put in jail or something like that. When I think of all these different stories of my dad,
well, I remember him driving down the street with us in the car, the convertible,
Yeah.
and his martini, honking the horn at girls as we went by.
That's a good memory. And it's such a different time, but times are going to continue to change, and there's not much we can do about that. But there is plenty that we can do. In fact, that was one of the things I learned when my dad had ALS, and my dad had lost his voice. He had a feeding tube. The ALS didn't start with his muscles. It started in his throat.
Right.
I had the more aggressive type, and I remember him telling me through his, he had an iPod with a speech like translator or something like that, where he could type a message in and it would speak for him.
I knew that.
Yeah, he said, he says, I can't waste time with thinking about the things I can't do anymore, or the people I've lost, or how things have changed. He says, that's just a waste of time. He says, but there's plenty of things that I can do, and I'm going to do them. And that's how I'm going to choose to spend my time. And I never ever forgot that. And none of us are guaranteed anything. So all we can do is what we can do.
Right.
And try to be of service.
And that's what I try to bring to people is, the spirituality, you need to be right with yourself and others. Gotta let it all go. And as I think, I don't even do anything negative anymore. I don't do anything, to free up my spirit so he can fight the disease.
Yeah.
Or not fight the disease, embrace the disease.
Yeah, because that's important too, Tom. What you just mentioned, in that so many people, they spend their times being negative and thinking about what they can't do, and thinking, doing things that are very hurtful to either themselves or others. And that takes up a lot of time and energy. And for every minute that we're sad or mad or some negative emotion, we could spend that time being happy or being productive.
Did you like that? I was trying to give us the outro.
Oh, okay.
What is that?
Well, we're not perfect.
I went to sound healing.
Can you turn that off? Yeah.
I went to sound healing, and they stand over you and play their instruments. But it was great. I loved it. And that's what I did, is I set up my tablet to have all these sound effects.
Okay.
But I think I accidentally erased our closing theme.
That's okay.
Well, I can try. Dun, 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 dun,
But John, it's been real. I'm glad that we finally got them to do this podcast. The second time. We did
Yes.
one and we lost one. So hopefully this
You did
one
hit
makes-
record this time, right?
Yeah, I hit record.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and
It wasn't last time I hit record, but somehow it got corrupt. And when I brought it to my other computer, I heard myself for a second, and then that was it. I lost it.
well, to our listeners, thank you all for listening. We did want to provide an update on what's going on. What the future holds, we don't know. We're going to keep doing episodes for as long as we can.
Yep.
And then, You know, and that's that. So thank you, and we'll keep trying to deliver a swift kick in the ass.
Yeah, 100,000 downloads. Not too shabby. All right, man.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later. Peace.
Peace. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, bye.